WPIAL podcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Down to just a few days left in the regular season. WPIAL Baseball, WPIAL Softball. This is our kind of a recap or update podcast. And it is, as always, presented by our good friends at Edgar Snyder and Associates, helping injured people since 1982. EdgarSnyder.com. All right. So Monday, Tuesday, weather permitting, and that could be a serious factor. The baseball regular season comes to an end, the final section series, and there's a lot of games with great importance that we'll be running down here in a moment. Softball is pretty much set. We're going to start with WPIAL softball. All but one possible playoff berth has been determined in district softball. 75 teams have clinched. We're not going to go down the standings. We're just going to tell you who's in. And for softball, we'll just tell you the couple games that have meaning heading into the final few days of the regular season. 6A is set. There will be 6 playoff teams, 2 quarterfinal byes. Hempfield's guaranteed to have one of those byes. They were the regular season champs. Then you have Seneca Valley, Norwin tied for second. Cannon McMillan all alone in fourth, and Mount Lebanon Pine Richland tied for fifth. Those are the 6 playoff teams. In Class 5A, Section 1, Shaler is your outright champion, Plum second, Fox Chapel, and then North Hills. Section 2, Penn Trafford, your outright section champion, then Armstrong, Kiski area, Latrobe. Section 3, West Allegheny and Montour are co-champions. South Fayette, Upper St. Clair, and Moon. Moon gets in by virtue of a USC loss to West Allegheny in the final Section 3 contest. And Section 4, Thomas Jefferson, Baldwin, Trinity, Connellsville. So there are 17 teams in the WPIAL 5A softball bracket. That means that's one too many. There will be one pigtail game, one preliminary round game to determine the 16th seed in 5A. And I believe that is going to be the only tournament, at least softball, that, will be the only tournament in softball that has a pigtail game. All right, Class 4A. This is where there is still a playoff berth up for grabs. 12 teams are in. There could be 13. And it comes from Section 1. Knock is your section champion. Indiana in, Derry in, Greensburg-Salem is clinched. Freeport's still alive. They need to beat visiting Greensburg-Salem on Monday and have Greensburg-Salem lose on Tuesday at Derry. That's what is needed for Freeport to tie Greensburg-Salem for the 4th and final playoff spot in Section 1, and for both the Golden Lions and the Yellow Jackets to qualify. Greensburg-Salem is in. Freeport needs to beat Greensburg-Salem Monday and have Greensburg-Salem lose to Derry on Tuesday. Section 2, Elizabeth Forward, outright champions, Laurel Highlands, West Mifflin, Uniontown in. Section 3, Blackhawk, outright champions, North Catholic, Hampton, and Beaver are in. No, Blackhawk has clinched a share of the section title. North Catholic has a chance to tie them, Hampton and Beaver. So 12 teams are in. It could be 13. If it's 12 teams, if Freeport does not make it, there will be 4 first-round byes. If Freeport does make it, 13 teams, there will be 3 first-round byes. 3A WPIAL softball, it is set with 12 playoff teams. Section 1, Mount Pleasant, your section champion, Burrow, York, Deer Lakes are in. Section 2, Mohawk is your section champion. Avonworth, Elwood City, and Hopewell are in. And in Section 3, South Park still undefeated. Section champs, Keystone Oaks, McGuffey, Charleroi in. 12 playoff teams, 4 first-round byes in Class 3A. Section 2 is set, is a perfect 16-team playoff field. Laurel is your winner in Section 1. Shenango, Neshannock, Riverside, all playoff bound. South Allegheny wins the Section 2 title. Brentwood, Apollo Ridge, and Shadyside Academy in. Chartiers Houston is your outright champion in Section 3. Seton, LaSalle, Burgettstown, and Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in. And in Section 4, Bentworth is your section champion. Fraser, Brownsville, Washington are in. So with a full playoff field, 16 teams, no byes, and no preliminary round games. Finally, WPIAL Softball Class A, 12 teams in. Union wins Section 1, also into the playoffs from Section 1, Southside, Sewickley Academy, Bishop Canavan. Carmichael's wins Section 2, West Green, Jefferson Morgan, Beth Center in, and Sarah Catholic, your Section 3 champion, Jeanette, Monessen, and Leechburg in. What was it, 38th year for the Blue Devils, 38th consecutive year, record playoff consecutive win streak or consecutive streak continues. 12 teams, there will be 4 first-round byes in WPIAL softball. Playoff pairings for softball Thursday, we'll have the pairing show Thursday afternoon. TBA, keep track on our website. We should have a time as early as Monday, maybe even Sunday or Monday. But 75 teams, could be 76 in WPIAL softball. Still a lot to be determined in baseball as we switch over. 6A is done. 6A is set. Butler wins Section 1. North Allegheny is in. Seneca Valley in. Central Catholic is in. Section 2, Cannon McMillan wins the championship. Norwin is second. Mount Lebanon and Hempfield are tied for third. I believe, let me double check that. Cannon and Norwin are co-champions, so I don't want to slight the Knights. They took 2 or 3 from Mount Lebanon, so the Big Macs and the Knights are co-champions in Section 2. So 8 playoff teams. They'll go right into the quarterfinals. No first-round games. Everybody goes right into the quarterfinals. 8v1, 7v2, 6v3, and 5v4. All right. Let's have some fun now. 5A, Section 1, Latrobe, Plum, Penn Trafford, Franklin Regional are all in. In Section 1 this week, 2 big section series, one for first place. Latrobe and Plum, they're deadlocked right now. They will meet at Plum on Monday, at Latrobe Tuesday. Franklin Regional and Penn Trafford are also going head-to-head this week. It is at Penn Trafford on Monday, in Murraysville on Tuesday. Only one game separates the top, those 4 teams that have clinched playoff berths. 3-way tie right now. I mentioned Latrobe and Plum playing for first place. Penn Trafford is also tied. So it's the Wildcats, the Mustangs, and the Warriors, all 8-2. And then the Panthers, don't forget about Franklin Regional. They are 7-3. So if they were to sweep Penn Trafford and Plum and Latrobe were to split, then it's a 3-way tie for the Section 1 championship. So 2 big series, Monday and Tuesday in Section 1. Section 2, Moon has a leg up on South Fayette for first place, 1 game. Tigers have clinched. Lions have clinched Bethel Park. They're done with section play. They have also clinched. How about the standings here? You have Moon 8-2, South Fayette 7-3, and those 2 teams, I was going to say those 2 teams go head-to-head. They do not go head-to-head. Tigers 8-2, Lions 7-3. Hawks are done at 6-6. Peters Township, Trinity, and Upper St. Clair all 4-6, and Chartiers Valley is 3-7 heading into the final sections. This Section 2 has been jam-packed the entire regular season, so no surprise it's this tight. 2 teams battling for first place, and then 4 teams right now battling for at least 1, possibly more playoff berths. Here are the section series beginning Monday. Chartiers Valley at Boyce Mayview to take on Upper St. Clair. At Ross Memorial, Trinity will host Moon, and at South Fayette, the Lions will host Peters Township, and then they all reverse on Tuesday. Section 3, Pine Richland is your section champion. West Allegheny is clinched, and that's it as far as Section 3 is concerned. Right now, Fox Chapel's in third place at 4-4. Both Newcastle and Mars are a game behind at 3-5. The section schedule: Fox Chapel is at West Allegheny on Monday. Mars visits Shaler on Monday, and Newcastle at Pine Richland. So maybe advantage Mars. Shaler probably not going to want to hear that, so they could come up and bite the Fighting Planets. A good race for the final two playoff berths in Section 3 of Class 5A. Finally, in Section 4, done. Thomas Jefferson, your outright section champion. Montour second. Baldwin third. And Connellsville fourth. Again, that section is legitimately done for the regular season. All right, let's go to 4A now. Section 1, 3 teams are in. Right now, by the way, in going back to 5A, 13 teams have clinched. There's a possibility it could be up as many as 19. Not likely. But this tournament, 5A, could be like 5A softball, where we might be looking at preliminary round games. Still a lot to be determined just in these final 2 days in 5A. All right, now we go to 4A. Section 1, Blackhawk, Beaver, Hopewell are all in. Ambridge right now sits in fourth place, and they're done at 6-6. Then Hampton is 5-5. The section series, by the way, Blackhawk and Beaver are tied for first place at 7-3, a game ahead of Hopewell. Big one is Blackhawk taking on Hopewell. They meet at Hopewell Monday, at Chippewa Tuesday. Central Valley is at Hampton on Monday. North Catholic hosts Beaver on Monday. Again, the Bobcats and Blackhawk Cougars enter the final week tied for first place in Section 1. Section 2, 3 teams have clinched: Elizabeth Forward, Bell Vernon, and West Mifflin. EF has a 1-game lead over both Bell Vernon and West Mifflin heading into the final section series. As far as the battle for fourth place, Ringgold currently sits at fourth at 5-5. Uniontown still alive, a game back at 4-6. What's coming up this week? Uniontown in chase mode has their hands full. They are home to Elizabeth Forward. The Warriors have something to play for. They're trying to clinch the outright section title. Bell Vernon, West Mifflin tied for second right now. It's still alive for a share of the conference title. Those 2 teams meet this week. They are at West Mifflin on Monday. And then Ringgold is hosting Laurel Highlands on Monday. If Ringgold were to win and Elizabeth Forward win Monday, then the Ringgold Rams will clinch and Uniontown will be eliminated. Section 3, it is over and done. We have co-champions. Indiana and Valley, after splitting last week, are both co-champions. They finish a game ahead of Knock. Derry finishes in fourth place in Section 3. So right now, 4A, 10 teams are in, 14 possibilities, or 14 is possible for the playoff field once that field is set after this week. All right, let's go to 3A now. In Class A, or Class 3A, Section 1, tie for the top spot, Elwood City and Mohawk. This section is done as well. They are co-champions, the Wolverines and the Warriors. They finish 1 game ahead of Riverside, and Quaker Valley finishes in fourth place and clinches a playoff berth. Section 2 is done. Avonworth sweeps the section showdown with South Park, so the Antelopes are your section champion. South Park finishes second, Shadyside Academy third, South Allegheny fourth, and they have all clinched playoff berths. All right, Section 3, undefeated Freeport is your Section 3 champion. Also clinching Mount Pleasant and Burrell. Both the Vikings and Buccaneers are in heading into the final week. Ligonier Valley is 5-5. York is 4-6. Deer Lakes is 3-7. Ligonier Valley will visit Mount Pleasant Monday, host the Vikings on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Deer Lakes and York, both in chase mode, kind of desperate chase mode, both play each other in Harmony on Monday, Russellton on Tuesday in Section 3. Finally, Section 4 of Class 3A, St. LaSalle is your outright section champion. The only other team that has clinched a playoff berth is Charleroi, sitting in second place at 6-4, and they have tiebreakers on their side because the rest of the section is jumbled up. One game separates four teams. Keystone Oaks and Waynesburg Central are both 5-5. Washington and McGuffey are both 4-6. The section series in this section, Keystone Oaks is at EQT Park to face Washington Monday. Then they go to Point Park Field in Greentree to finish that series Tuesday. Charleroi is at Waynesburg Monday. Cougars home on Tuesday. Two big series there. And then McGuffey, again in chase mode. They are in Brookline to take on St. LaSalle Monday. They will host the Rebels on Tuesday. In Class 3A, 13 teams are in. It could possibly grow to 19. Again, unlikely, but it is possible that this section or this classification could have preliminary round games as well. All right, to 2A now. In Section 1, Fort Cherry, after sweeping California, earns at least a share of the section championship. One more win. Rangers are outright champions. California has clinched. Burgettstown is in as well. Trojans 8-2. Blue Devils are 5-5. Also 5-5 is Chartiers Houston, but they do not have the tiebreaker with Fraser, so the Commodores are still alive. Fraser is home to Beth Center. Bulldogs have only won one game all year, so if the Commodores win both, they go to 5-7, possibly tied with Char Houston, unless the Buccaneers can win one from California. They are at EQT Park in Washington on Monday, at California against the Trojans on Tuesday. One win gives the Bucks a playoff berth. Section 2, Neshannock still the only team to have clinched a playoff berth. They are at 8-2, alone in first place. They're only one game ahead of both Laurel and defending champion Freedom, 2 games ahead of both Shenango and New Brighton. Neshannock will be at New Brighton on Monday, hosting the Lions on Tuesday. Freedom visits Shenango Monday. Bulldogs host the Wildcats Tuesday. And Laurel is at Northgate Monday. Spartans host the Flames on Tuesday in Section 2 of Class 2A. Section 3, three-way tie for first place. Southside, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, Riverview. All are 8-2 heading into the final section series of the season. Apollo Ridge has clinched fourth place at 7-5. Those three teams tied for first place. 2 of them go head-to-head this week. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart is in Oakmont Monday to take on Riverview. They'll host them in Clinton on Tuesday. Southside in Hookstown Monday to host Brentwood, and then visit Brentwood on Tuesday to determine the section champion in Section 3. But Southside, Riverview, Ocean, Apollo Ridge all clinched. 8 teams are in Class 2A, a possible 13 teams that could make it into the postseason in Class 2A. Finally, in Class A, Section 1, Greensburg Central Catholic is your outright section champion. Avella has clinched because they're done with section play at 8-4. And then 2 playoff spots up for grabs. You have Jefferson Morgan at 6-4, 1 game ahead of Jeanette at 5-5, 1 game ahead of Carmichael's at 5-5. Jeanette and Jefferson Morgan go head-to-head in Greene County on Monday, in Westmoreland County on Tuesday. Carmichael's, meanwhile, goes up against rival West Greene at West Greene Monday, at Carmichael's on Tuesday in Section 1. Again, 3 teams fighting for 2 playoff spots. Western Beaver leads Section 1, and they have clinched the outright section championship. Leechburg is in. Union is in. The Scotties 6-4. The Blue Devils 5-3. Union, by the way, is done with section play. Big series here will determine the fourth and final playoff spot, or possibly the fourth and fifth playoff spot. Aquinas Academy at Rochester Monday. Rams at the Crusaders Tuesday. Both Aquinas Academy and Rochester are 3-5, and if they split, they both go to the WPIAL playoff. Section 3 of Class A, Eden Christian Academy are outright section champion. They are done at 8-0. Sarah Catholic 4-2, Sewickley Academy 3-3, Bishop Canevin done at 3-5. Final section series there, Sarah Catholic at Sewickley Academy Monday. The Eagles will be hosting the Panthers on Tuesday. So all four teams, Eden, Sarah, Sewickley, Bishop Canevin, in from Section 3. So right now, 9 teams are in Class A. It could build to 14 teams. So there are, while there's only 2 series left softball-wise. So softball, I think, is in good shape to get these games in with some suspect weather coming up this week. Baseball, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 30. You got 30 section series that have significance either for a section championship or for playoff spots. So, again, fingers crossed that, that these can get in. The WPIAL Baseball Playoff Pairing Show is slated for Friday afternoon here on Trib HSSN. Again, time. Check out our website. We should have it with the clinchings Sunday or Monday. 61 teams currently have clinched in WPIAL baseball. Well, that'll do it. Hope this was informative. That's what these podcasts, these recap podcasts during the regular season, and now as we're getting close to the postseason, that's what they're for. We'll have one next week that will pretty much be post-bracketology, so more of a playoff recap or playoff preview. And then after that, every Saturday we'll drop podcasts that will update both the district softball and baseball playoffs, and then into June, the baseball and softball state postseason. So we'll keep it going. Thanks to Chris Lackner, our producer. I'm Don Rebel. Hope you enjoyed it. Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network.